A lot of people have been messaging me that they have been on a losing streak and they always ask, how do I start winning? I always say go to Proguides.com, which has the best videos on getting better at League. They have courses with pro players, they have champion tier list and matchup stat tools, and they have 24/7 challenger coach who you can talk to anytime. And they really work at getting you to a higher division. It's got everything you need to get better at League all in one place. I highly recommend it. Check out the link in the description below. Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. So if there is anything that really helped me out get to Challenger multiple of times and also play Riven on one of the best levels possible, it's definitely gotta be my settings. So we are gonna go over my settings today. And before we get into anything at all, I have modified my settings. I have done something to my settings which should normally not be possible. It can only be done outside of the game. So if you want to have my settings completely, you will have to modify your game. Basically, the way that I play this game, the way that I have modified this game for myself is that I have attack move click on my left mouse button. Now you guys might be like, how did you do that? Because technically it's not possible. Let me explain what this means for those that don't understand. So if you play the game, you play the game both by moving and attacking with one single button, which is your right mouse button. So for me, I move the game around, I move my champion with the right mouse button, and I attack with the left mouse button. So basically, I use two mouse buttons while playing the game. So I move, I attack with this button, basically allowing me to never miss the champion that I want to attack. So not only is this very beneficial because you can no longer miss the champion that you want to target, but also the second thing is that you use two fingers at once while playing the game. So now that we are using the attack move click on the left mouse button, we don't have a button for the minimap and buying items in the shop. So what I did was, I am now using the scroll wheel if I want to see something on the map. And also, if you want to buy anything in the shop, you use your scroll wheel for this, and then you want to buy whatever and then press the right click. That's the way I do it now. For those people that want to have the exact same settings like me, you have to go to your disk PC and then go to your C disk, then go to Riot Games, and then you follow me from here. We're going into League of Legends map, into config, and then you want to have this file, you copy it, then you paste it down again, and then you want to name it backup. We're doing this just in case something goes wrong, because you're about to copy my settings into this folder and you're going to replace it with this one. The link for my settings will be in the description below. All you have to do is you download it and then you swap it with a file right here. If it turns out that you want to have your settings back the way it was before, all you have to go and do is you want to remove this one out of your folder, and then you want to rename this one back to persisted settings. This will be your old settings, so don't worry if you don't like my settings. Now as for the rest of the settings, you want to go to Hotkeys and you want to put everything on quick cast. You want to change this button to C. I'll explain later on why. And then you want to put the trinket on 6. So basically, this one you have to do it without quick cast. I'm going to show you guys why. So first of all, this is very good because if you now press your 6 button for the trinket, you now get this circle, the only thing that you want to have, and you want to place it down as soon as your cursor goes green. If it shows green, that means that the ward will be inside of the bush. If it doesn't show green, it will show that the ward is not inside the bush. This is the reason why I don't put the wards on quick cast, because sometimes you get those moments where you accidentally misplace the ward and it doesn't get into the bush. So this is very important, guys. The reason why you want to have this button on C is because you're going to put your potions right there. So when you're playing the game, you can now have your thumb, and you can use the potion with your thumb if you are in a crucial fight. It's really going to help out a lot. You definitely don't want to miss out a finger when you are in a very, very intense fight. As for the rest of the items, if you have QSS, you can also put it down on C when you are in a crucial fight. If you have any wards, I almost always put it on 1. And I always put my Hydra on 2 as well, and Ghostblade on 3. This is all pretty much personal preference. It's just the way that how you want it to be. As for quick cast with indicator, I have pretty much turned off both of the settings. The rest of my settings right here, they are pretty much all on default settings, so nothing to really worry about. This one is being turned off because I don't like this setting at all. It doesn't work the way it's intended to be. For the video settings, I put in the borderless mode because I am streaming a lot and recording a lot as well. Just put it in full screen if you don't have a second monitor or you don't stream at all. I like colorblind mode, so I always have colorblind mode on. My PC is really bad while streaming and recording, so I always have my settings on very low. I have the character inking on out as well. I have my frame rate cap on 240, but if I am streaming and recording, I have my vertical sync on. However, if you play Riven and you don't want to have lag, just turn it off because this is going to lag your game out in terms of moving around. So for the sound, it doesn't really matter what you do. This is what I have for myself. As for the interface, I like to have my HUD on 100%. This is because I learned the game playing on 100% HUD. Don't ask me why. For the cursor, I have it on 50. This will just do fine for me. As for the chat skill, I don't even play with a chat, so it doesn't matter for me. If you wonder, I have the chat right here. I always put it away. It's always gone. I don't read the chat. I don't need teammates to read. I don't need to read the chat of my teammates, I mean. For the minimap scale, I have it on 100%, just like the HUD on 100% pretty much explains for itself. The practice tool scale, I don't really care. This all, I have it all being standard except for the show summoner names. I always have it off because if you play against a good friend of yours or you play against a pro player and you see their name, there can be times where you get tilted because you want to win really bad. So I always have the names being turned off. As for the legacy cursor, I don't even know why it's off because I like the old cursor, but yeah, not really very important. As for the rest of the things, everything is standard and default. You don't really have to change anything right there. For the minimap, I have pretty much standard as well. Right here, I have show summoner names. It explains the same thing, just have it off. Scoreboard, it's all default, everything is default. I recommend people to turn this off. The reason why it's on for me is because I always hide the chat and I cannot see it anyway. But if you guys do play with the chat, I recommend you guys to turn it off because why would you have to talk to the enemy team? It's only there to tilt each other. So just turn it off. It's really not that important at all. So as for the rest of the things, I like to have my timestamps on because if I played with the chat in the past, I would always wanted to have the timestamp so I would know if somebody's summoner spell would be down. It's always good to have it on. As for the rest of the things, you can just leave it standard and default. It's just all good. Now as for the last thing, game, I have my mouse speed on 55. Now some people ask for my DPI. Well, I don't really know what my DPI is, not gonna lie, but I have set my mouse really slow. As for the camera movement speed for my mouse, I have it on 33. My camera movement speed on keyboard is 60, but I don't really use the keyboard at all for the camera. The rest of the things, you have to keep this option off because it can be very annoying to deal with. The rest of the settings, I have it on default. I also like to have my auto attack on because if I am standing AFK or I don't pay any attention, at least my champion is doing something. Don't have your used movement prediction on because this setting can be really weird and it can really mess with your gameplay. Now the last question, because a lot of people always ask me for that, how do you play this game with the camera on free lock? Well, the thing is, if there is a very big intense fight, I still play with the camera being locked. Basically the way I play is I play with free lock, and if I need my champion to be centered, I will simply go and hold the spacebar, which will turn it back to my champion. As long as I hold the spacebar, it will just stay the way it is. And if I stop holding it, I can just move it out freely. That's the way I play. So if I do like a fancy Riven play, I can just simply go and hold it. That's a very good way of how to take care of the camera. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you are looking for a high elo Riven main on stream, make sure you check out my stream. I'm really trying to help out people get better at this game as well as Riven. Also, if you're looking for a nice and friendly Discord community, make sure you check out my Discord server. And I'll see you guys in my next stream and my next video, man. Peace.